And we're live. Alright, so looks like first game went to the Magnet Vessel spam. The Magnet Vessel player lost because Ion Blazer killed him. Alright, now we're on to the next one. Alright, so Falcon and Centurion. Falcon's the worst ship. Centurion's pretty good though. They might be able to threaten. It's hard to threaten lethal with Falcon, but you can try sometimes. With this, I think you play Rockbreaker here. This is the wrong Jackhammer. Jackhammer should be 6 attack for 3, right? Okay, so now Vessel's going to come into play. Because we don't have any lethal threats. Anyway, so our only lethal threat are the 2 hyperdrivers. So there's 2 hyperdrivers in the deck. There's 10 cards in the deck. So according to, there's a total of 10 cards in their hand plus the 2 hyperdrivers in the deck. So there is a 37% chance that they have a hyperdriver in their hand. So the question is, do you feel lucky, Punk? I think the answer is no. The reason being that we can play Helix, and then we can play a defensive card. Alright. Alright. So now back on to player 1. Player 1 here has a few interesting lines they can take. Lotus is the most direct. It's going to give them the most plays. They're actually going to have more plays than they'll have cards in their hand. Lotus will let them threaten lethal with no additional cards. In fact, they have fewer lethal threats now. Falcon attacks for 2 only, so Lotus is the better play. The question is, do they have lethal threats? So they played this card. Rockbreaker can only attack for 4, so they don't have any lethal threats either. One thing to be careful of is if they had the Hammer and Sickle, they wouldn't have lethal either. So they don't have any lethal threats. So Lotus is just the best play here. Alright, Ion Blazer. This means you don't have to fear their lethal threat because you have their only lethal threat card. So now you can go on offense and threaten lethal yourself. So the best lethal threats are ones that generate more power. So right now you have 2 attack, 4 attack. So this would give you, this guy has 3 attack effectively. So he has 3 attack, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is less than 8, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, 7 is less than 8, so it doesn't matter. The other option, therefore, is Ion Blazer itself. And Jackhammer. The problem with Jackhammer is that getting 3 ores on a Jackhammer hand, this hand can't get Jackhammer's 3rd ore. Ion Blazer is pretty decent, as you'll be able, even though you'll be a turn behind it, you'll be able to, with Jackhammer, activate both of these, the attack, so you threaten for 6. So you both threaten lethal here and have a plus play. So now, back on the other side. So they do threaten lethal, but their only lethal threats are the one hyperdriver in the deck, one thing to think about is there are two ways to stop this lethal threat. The first way is to play defensive upgrades. The second way is to sacrifice 2 ships to blow up. The problem is that if we sacrifice Lotus, right, which would be the ship, if we sacrifice if we sacrifice Centurion, we actually don't have enough cards in our hand, unfortunately. If we sacrifice Centurion Lotus, which is probably the best. Okay, sacrifice Centurion Lotus. Or actually, since we have Destroyer, I might want to sacrifice Centurion Vessel. We sacrifice Centurion Vessel. We get 3 extra plays, which we throw one of them away. We blow up their card and play out our whole hand. Being 1 turn away. Alternatively, we can keep Vessel, blow up Centurion Lotus. So, the lethal threat here is annoying enough that I actually want to stop it. The question is, do you want to stop both of their lethal threats or just a lethal threat? Because there is one lethal threat they have, which is that 1 cost guy. So you can either stop Jackhammer, but you also want to stop the non-Jackhammer guy. They have 2 lethal threats in the deck at this point, so that's actually enough that you want to stop them. The question really becomes, blowing this guy up also stops Ion Blazer's activation, so that's pretty obvious. So we're going to sacrifice Centurion. Get 2 extra plays. So these 2 cards are going to be played in some capacity as well. If I sacrifice Vessel, I can play Destroyer offensively, Helix defensively, Falcon offensively, giving me that, which would give me effectively 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 power. Alright. Let's do that. Alright, we knocked into the Stone Age. Alright, and here player 1 is got the game. There's nothing player 2 can do at this point. Player 1, they can play a defensive upgrade. They don't have any double battery upgrades, so they can't stop that. So we'll just play a card with 3 defense, draw 2, and we'll look. So, what card did he draw? Magnet. He might not be able to kill. 1, so Magnet has to be played offensively. That much is obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Alright. So this all goes at your opponent's face, and he dies. Game over. Player 1 wins. In a simple, this is the standard way you win. Alright, we'll go for our next.